And so like the way I understood it junior year was I'm probably called to be a missionary in Japan.
Okay.
Disclaimer, I'm not. I realized like that's not what that was. But post A&M stuff like that, I basically it concluded my senior year where I just expected to be a seminarian with a religious community, the Legionnaires of Christ, because that was my spiritual director. And then I didn't have a great prayer life at all still, but I do remember I had the application. I was about to fill it out. And I just stared at it and I just heard God say, no.
Oh.
Yeah, I was horrified because I didn't apply for anything. I had no goal. I had nothing lined up. I was like, I told everyone, I'm going to be a seminarian with the Legionnaires of Christ.
You were telling people already.
Yeah, this is like my tendency is to tell everyone things that have not even happened yet, but just a thought in my mind.
Oh, this is going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to be a missionary. I'm going to be a seminarian.
Yep. So lo and behold, all my relatives are like, why aren't you in seminary yet? But yeah.
So you heard God say no.
Yeah, and like that was I knew it was God because it was like so clear. I don't know. My prayer life was fairly like on off, but I just remember just being so clear that God saying, no,
this is not for you.
Yeah. And I went to my spiritual director. I was like, Father, we need to talk. And then like, we're just walking around campus and he just looks at me and goes like, what do you want to do? Like, what kind of man do you want to be? And I look at him and I go, I want to be a missionary. And so that's kind of how I ended up going from there I became a domestic missionary with Life Teen Missions.
Okay.
So they're based out in Georgia. But like between that, I just started applying for I just looked up Catholic missionaries. So I applied to NET. I applied or half applied to Life Teen. I was looking into Focus. I was looking into, I heard about Adore at a certain point. I heard about St. Paul's outreach, like stuff like this. And so Life Teen ended up being the one that I was very clear that the Lord wanted me there. So
then you moved to
Georgia, Dahlonega, Georgia, Camp Hidden Lake. So
how long were you there?
1 year, and that was like a major place of healing for sure. Coming out of A&M, like I have given my life to the Lord as much as I possibly could, and try to pursue Him as much as I possibly could. But a big thing that I never really knew was like how much like the Lord wants to heal a lot of just these lies and gunk. That was like I was really living out of my wounds in a lot of places, and so
you were carrying baggage.
A lot of baggage.
Okay,
a lot of baggage. And so when I got into Life Teen, it was a 1 year commitment, and so the whole idea of their missionary program was live in community with men and women, men's house, women's house. And then every weekend there'd be retreats and you learn how to do ministry there. But the biggest thing was learning how to have this rhythm of prayer. When I entered Life Teen, I just discerned that the Lord just wanted my heart. And that was the big thing which brought a lot of healing. That first week we did Missionary Academy, which was like all the missionaries. So there was another base of 12. And so there was about 24 of us. And I just the Lord loving me a lot, and like especially like the Father Himself. Just a lot of the father wounds I grew up with, like just went really, really, really deep. And so when I realized and that I was like a son, and like the Father loved me and delighted in me, that brought a lot of freedom. And of course, like that, the wounds go deep, of course. But I learned to love myself as a son, learn to love the Father as God the Father, and learn to love my dad too, and like even in his brokenness. And so that significant amount of healing. And just even like learning how to have brothers and not be. I was very not woman crazy, but I think just the way I grew up, even in college, I just associated with the women more. I was like more open to them, more attached to like those kinds of friendships and things like that. But when I got to Life Teen, I was in a house of like 5 other guys, and we didn't always, like, most of the time you were not allowed to go to the woman's house unless you went with like one of the other guys. And so
you bonded with guys more.
Oh yeah, we had Nerf wars. It was fun. There was like I missed them a lot. I was just talking to one of them last week, but yeah, a lot of dumb boy shenanigans, like shooting Coke cans with BB guns on downtime, or like hiding in the house with Nerf guns, or I had my bamboo sword in the house too. So like it was like kind of attacking the other guys, like silly stuff like that, but also like praying with each other and then crying with each other, talking about like where we need healing with each other, and like the biggest thing, like calling each other to like a life of holiness, which I never got that. I don't remember having that kind of experience in that way growing up. So that helped a lot, healed a lot.